You get your crap together, bruh?
Yeah.
There we go. They're on their way.
Mm-hmm.
There's Jago.
What's up?
Difficulties, you know how it is.
I got to think of one more tag.
All right. Okay. We're ready. We're ready. I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. And we are live.
I don't know. Technology. We are live. So, what's up, everybody? Saltiest Gaming, and we're back with another podcast. Thank you for joining us for episode 10.
Let's do
podcast. We got a special guest tonight. I want to say what's up. Thanks for joining us tonight. Say what's up to everybody.
Oh, what is going on, everybody? Brian from Attack the Glitcher here, infecting Salty Gamers podcast. I hope you guys are ready for some great and amazing gaming topics tonight, because that's we're about to bring it to you. We're going to deliver it, and I hope you guys are ready. Oh, yeah.
Who brings the energy?
Brother. So if you could let them know where they can find you and all that. I know you have your own YouTube channel if they don't know where to find you.
Yeah, guys, definitely. You can find me at Attack the Glitcher on YouTube. You guys want to check my stuff out there. Good stuff on there. And you can also follow me on Twitter at Attack Glitcher. And you could also hit me up on my Xbox at Attack Glitcher. So, I mean, all that good stuff there. If you, I'm gonna do my shameless plug now. So, but yeah, Attack the Glitcher on YouTube, Attack Glitcher Twitter. Follow me and all that happy horse shit. So, but
thanks again.
I'm following you right now, man. You got me hype. I'm doing it right now.
All right, yeah, Nick, what's up with you, man? What's going on?
You
man?
know, it's Nick Fury, and just another Sunday, another day of football, another weekend of football, another weekend of video games. I actually got the day off yesterday, which is great. I normally work like 6 days a week, but I actually had the day off yesterday and relaxed. Took the kids to the pumpkin patch, did all that, did the whole family thing, and then played some Titanfall with you and Jago, and went to sleep. Sir. Woke up early this morning, and now I'm back at it again.
It's Jago, what's going on, man?
What's up? It's your boy J to the A to the TTO. Let's go.
All right, let's get into it. So before we start off, I want to know what kind of games you guys been moving podcast. Nick, do you want to start off?
What kind of games I've been playing? Bruh, I've been playing, still playing that 2K, playing a little bit of Destiny, a little bit of a little bit of everything right now, since we're going to talk about the topic later, but Destiny's kind of wearing thin on me, so we're playing a lot of games lately. I'm going to pick up Warframe. I'm going to start Wolfenstein so I can play Wolfenstein 2. Getting back in the Titanfall, thanks to Jago, he got me back into that whole horde mode. That thing's actually pretty fun, so looking forward to playing some more of that. And that's about it. Videos, doing this, working, all that.
Cool, man. Jago, what have you been playing besides Titanfall, or is that the only game you own?
No. That's what you'll see me playing most time.
That's all I can afford right now since I bought the X.
Yeah, no shit. But no, Titanfall. Been playing Cuphead a little bit, but it's so hard, dude. I have to give it a break. But Titanfall, man, that's my go-to. I got plenty of games I could play, but I'm just waiting for most of the games that get that 4K treatment to go back to them. And Titanfall's one of them, but I've been playing that.
That was some fun times last night, man.
Oh yeah,
I put Titanfall down because I didn't have anybody to play with. But since you play it, I probably get back into it. That horde mode's pretty fun.
Yes,
anytime.
What have you been playing, Glitcher?
Dude,
what do you get into?
Oh my god, dude! Like, they released a game that I am really hooked on right now. I'm a horror guy, so I've been jamming the hell out of the Evil Within 2. That game is amazing. I'm like looking through every nook and cranny, just going through this game. I love the hell out of the Evil Within 2, man. You guys got to check it out if you are horror guys. Definitely, it's kind of got the scare aspects of Resident Evil 7, but it's got the over the shoulder like RE4 style. So I mean, I've been jamming that. Been bouncing back and forth with Cuphead a little bit, and then Destiny. Like, dude, it's like I'm like ninja chucking discs back and forth inside the old Xbox, and this thing is probably like, dude, what the hell are you doing? It's like bam. So, but yeah, jamming away on the Evil Within 2 right now.
That's cool.
So
yeah, I'm playing Evil Within 1 right now because I didn't get the chance to finish that. The game's pretty good, so I think I'm gonna get Evil Within 2 eventually. Yeah, that's part of the long list of games that are on the wish list. I want to play Assassin's Creed. Let's see, the new Lord of the Rings game. You got a whole bunch of the list. But anyway, let's get into the first topic of the night. So apparently, Destiny 2 player base has dropped by over 2 million since launch. Is it time? Is it time to panic? That's what I want to know from you guys. It's lost actually 400,000 in the last 2 days. So there's something obviously wrong with this game. Let's start off with Attack the Glitcher. What do you think is happening with this game? Like, what's going on?
My opinion on it is, and now, is it time to panic? No, it's not, because like most of these games, Destiny, Division, everybody powerhouses through these games to get to the max, the max light, the max everything, and everybody, they don't take their time with it. They just want to rush and jam and get up there. So of course they burn themselves out. They don't take their time with it. So at the end, when they're done and they have cheesed everything, they think there's no real actual end game content. Now, I mean, Destiny 2 does have some end game content, but there could be more, of course. But is it time to panic? No. I mean, this kind of happened with Destiny 1 at first, like before the House of Wolves came out, it started to burn out and everybody's like, screw Destiny. But then they put out the House of Wolves and bam, everybody picked back up on it. And then it started to burn out again with, the House of Wolves, and then the Taken King came out. So Destiny 2 is just doing exactly what Destiny 1 did. It's running its course with the main thing right now until the first expansion comes back on, and then boom, it's going to be hyped and sparked again, and then it'll burn back down again. It's just going to repeat all of these games, like the Division and Destiny. So it's going to be, this is nothing new. So for people to panic over it, no, it's doing exactly what Destiny 1 did, and like I said, the Division. So that's my opinion on that. So,
Nick, what's your take on this situation?
I agree with Attack. I don't think it's anything to panic about, but to me, it's kind of predictable because, like you said, Destiny 1 kind of followed the same suit, but it seems like it's a little more dramatic with Destiny 2 this time. I think the issue is with Destiny 1, the game came out, nobody kind of knew what was going on. It was a brand new thing. It was fresh. So people were still playing over and over again, grinding, playing the raid, doing all the public stuff. Then December came around. People were still figuring the game out. Then, DLC kept dropping. I think the issue this time around is just everybody's too familiar with it. And so they probably went out, played it, like Tech said, rushed through it, beat everything, maxed all 3 characters out, did all the raids, did everything there is to do. And now they're thinking, well, there's no in-game content because they basically just mastered all the in-game content. And so now they're dropping off, and maybe they're waiting for the new DLC to come out. Maybe they're not. I don't know, but I feel like it's more of, it's just kind of it's just too familiar to people who probably came to the game. And so that's my take on it. It's just a lot of familiarity. And if, people coming back to the game, playing it, finishing it, done with it. That's it.
Yeah. Jago, what's your take, man?
Well, I know I'm probably going to piss a lot of people off, but to me, it felt like Destiny 1.5. I mean, it's very familiar.
I said that.
And the story to me wasn't, everybody's going, oh my God, Destiny 2 story was so good, much better than the first one. honestly, the story wasn't that good to me. It was okay. It wasn't nothing to write home about. So I think people beat the
there's
story.
actually a story this time though, so
that's
the plus.
yeah, but the story wasn't that good though. I mean, I've played really good single player campaigns, say like The Last of Us or hell, Mad Max or Titanfall, and it was just okay. And I think people, once they got done with that, and it's the same thing as the first one, rinse and repeat, do the heroic challenges or the public events, and it's just the same crap over and over again. I think people just got burnt out, a lot of them on the first one, and once they beat that story, and kept playing the same things over and over again, they're like, screw this with all these games coming out. Why grind on this right now?
Yeah, man, I feel you. I was probably one of the most hardcore Destiny 1 players you'd meet out there. Nick could attest to this, with the amount of hours that I put into the game.
Yep.
So I don't know. I've been talking about this with Fonz, and he was a huge Destiny player too, and he's barely touched in the game. So you're running into a problem now with this game, because I know what Attack talked about, and it's true. It's these games go in ebbs and flows. You do the content, and then you stop playing for a while, and you pick it back up, blah blah blah. But I feel like this game specifically dropped faster than Destiny 1. I feel at this point in time in Destiny 1, I was still grinding for stuff I didn't have, but like right now, like I didn't put that much time into the game, and I feel like I have pretty much everything. So I feel like this game is fighting itself per se. It's trying to find it's targeting the casuals too much, in my opinion.
Yep.
And that's what's made it suffer. I don't know if that came from the higher ups at Activision. If Activision said, you need to push towards the casuals or whatever, and they did that because the token system to get weapons and all this other stuff, the PvP is. Iron Banner wasn't exciting. I don't know, man. Like, I think they have serious issues that they need to address, and they're kind of doing that with some of the updates. But I don't know, man. It's interesting because Destiny was supposed to be this, 10-year game, and if they keep messing with their, target audience or their hardcore, I think it might have major issues, because there's a lot more games coming out that are going to be, competition for this game. We have Anthem, so we have the new Star Wars game coming out, which is good. Competition is good, but I think they might have some issues if they don't address some of the major glaring problems with the game, because you have some of the people that are major streamers like Gathalion. He's playing Warframe, and some other people have stopped playing it. So it's interesting. It's not good per se, because we don't want to see a game lose numbers like this, especially one that a lot of people play.
If Anthem comes out and as good as it looks, it's going to totally destroy Destiny.
Yeah, I'm excited for Anthem.
Oh yeah, that game definitely looks awesome.
If I could buy that today over anything else, I would buy that.
It'd be good.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to know. I think Destiny will make changes that they need to make to keep the game on track. I think they're gonna try to appease the hardcore audience. I think they're gonna bring back some loot rolls maybe for some of the weapons or whatever. But I don't know. Honestly, I don't think I'll be back until the next expansion, if I do come back, honestly, because this game's kind of burned out for me personally, which is sad because it was my favorite game with, when the console launched, because it was pretty much the only game that we had to play. Nick, you remember those times, right?
Oh, man, dude. Yeah. 2013. Oh, my gosh. Hitting that, man. Woo! Bad.
So, did any of you guys catch the new Xbox One X ads that dropped tonight?
Yeah, I saw one where it was in Japanese or Chinese or whatever. I saw it when I was on break, and I was like,
yeah, I saw that one.
So the new ad is talking about "Feel the True Power" is the new slogan. You guys down with that? You think it's a good ad base? You think it's on the right track? I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think?
Most definitely.
They definitely need to put that out there. Especially, now Xbox has been getting dogged for quite some years now, since the launch of you know, the Xbox One and then the S, and everybody's always talking about, oh, it's the weaker console. Oh, it's not that good. Oh, you got 900p. Oh, you've got this. So you know what? I think it's nice that they actually have this ad and they're throwing it in the face of the people that talk shit about it. So yeah, definitely. I'm glad that they're saying feel true power, because essentially at the end of the day, that's what we're getting. We are getting one of the most powerful consoles ever. And I think, in my opinion, it is right for Xbox to tote about it. They've got something that everybody is super hyped and amped and excited about. So why not, you know, they're selling it. They want people to know, hey, this is what you're getting. You're going to feel true power. So yes, I mean, if that was my thing, I would be screaming it off the top buildings, you know, like true power right here. So yeah, I definitely feel that's something they should be doing. But that's just my, like I said, my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah. Nick, did you catch the ad at all?
Yes, sir.
What do you think, man?
Yeah, I attack with I attack. I agree with Tag. It's great that they are pretty much throwing every criticism that they, well, it's not really every, it was really only the one criticism that they had throughout, you know, the Xbox One's cycle was, it's not powerful enough, it's not good, it's not as good as the PS4, you know, it's not as powerful as the PS4, yada 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 yada. And now that they have something that can actually push and is better than the PS4 Pro and is going to be the most powerful console, they are definitely running with that campaign, and like you said, throwing that in people's faces, and it's good. I just hope that they are more assertive in the future, you know, in the next few years, you know, instead of laying back and letting everything happen. I hope they're more assertive like this and start to take control of the market.
That's good, man. Jago, did you catch it? What'd you think, man?
Most definitely. I saw Glitcher's retweet up this morning in Japanese, and then I saw it, you know, at 7 in American, the same commercial, just in English. Man, they should have been doing this 6-7 months ago, dude. Commercials. Not every TV show, not every station, but they should have been doing this a lot longer than what they're doing now. They need to grab their balls back from their wives up there in Washington and you know, quit singing Kumbaya, you know, quit trying to be nice to Sony. You know, they're your competition. Yes, competition is what makes, you know, keeps the game industry going, but they don't act like they're proud of their system. They just want to get along. You know what I'm saying? Screw that. You know, act like you're proud of your system. Advertise it. Throw some billboards up. You know, I mean, just wish they get their head out their ass when it comes to marketing, dude. That's like, we don't want to piss nobody off. We don't want to make Sony mad or make Nintendo mad. Screw that. Stop with the Kumbaya crap.
Yeah. I don't know why they waited so long. Do you guys think it was an FCC thing, or what's the thing? I don't understand. Like, what's the delay? You know,
that's a real interesting point. But I mean, the FCC thing, I don't think it's actually something that would have controlled commercials regardless. I mean, they could have started advertising well before, because I mean, the FCC, I think, just controlling the patents and everything of the console. So I don't think nothing would have happened to them if they would have put out a commercial. So I don't think it was like the FCC thing on that. So
I'm with Jago completely. I feel like, because you know, they've had some ads with the Taco Bell stuff, but it's kind of indirect. You know, it's not exactly a product commercial. It's not specific. So I feel like I wish I could get in a room with Aaron Greenberg and ask him, like, what's the reasoning behind, you know, waiting. You know, they could get this out there and get that hype train rolling. It is rolling for the hardcore, but the people that don't necessarily know about it, you know, it would be good for them to know about it. But specifically on this ad, what were my first, you know, my impressions? I love the montage that they put together within that ad. I think that's, correct me if I'm wrong, but they showed something similar to this when at E3 when they were, you know, announcing the console and stuff like that. I feel like I've seen part of that feel true power before. It was kind of a tease per se back then, and now, you know, it's come full circle. But I liked it.
It's like they added more to the commercial that they showed back at E3.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
overall, I think that it's a good thing that the tagline "Feel True Power." It's short, it's compact, it's easy for people to remember, and that is really what's going to sell this console. Because let's be honest, there's not many first party exclusives to sell the console right now. Am I
No.
correct?
Yeah.
So
I mean, everybody's going to be running the multi-plats on it. So, and of course, people want, the better looking, version of it. So yeah, they're definitely going to gravitate towards that. So, I mean, I don't think they're going to have any issues on that part, but what?
Did anybody other than me see more commercials for the PS4 today in general than any other day? I swear I saw more.
the funny thing is I wouldn't be surprised, because PlayStation has that knack of trying to kill the hype and the buzz.
But
So
what's funny to me is that tagline they had in 2013, "Greatness awaits." It worked then, but they're still saying "Greatness awaits." Well, for the PS4 fans, they're still going to be waiting. I thought it was funny. I tweeted about it.
That's pretty funny.
I mean, it's Sony's gonna do everything they can to take the focus off of Xbox, so they still have their eyes on them. And when the X comes out, people are still gonna try and come up with different ways to bag on this system, to be like, oh, your console doesn't do this, when at the end of the day it's gonna be what a lot of people wanted. Like what they there was a survey that was done a while ago from PlayStation people. Noof Nukem had brought this up, and I want to reiterate this because it's absolutely hilarious. They did a survey with a bunch of PlayStation fans, and they said, what do you want the next PlayStation to be like? And they checked off everything that they wanted, and at the end of the day, it was an Xbox they wanted. So
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So it's like, but Sony's always going to try to do everything humanly possible to take people's eyes off of the Xbox.
And we had Levi in chat. He's like, when am I going to get my R2D2 themed Xbox One X? That's never going to happen, because PlayStation has the exclusive marketing rights, and unfortunately, they snatched up a lot of those marketing rights, to kind of counteract the Xbox One X's release. I don't know if you guys have heard this, but a lot of money went into the R&D of the S and the X. Mm-hmm. So they had to cut costs in other areas, and I think that a lot of those, cost-cutting measures came, for some of the games that they're coming out with, closure of studios and stuff like that.
Yep.
In the amount of commercials that we're going to see, or other things. What do you guys think about that? Like, do you think that the Xbox One X and the Xbox One S was worth all that, or would you have rather just had the S and then kind of wait for the next generation and have potentially more exclusive first party titles? What do you think about that, Nick?
We're just gonna have to wait and see. I don't know if it was worth it or not. Like, I think they think it's gonna be worth it. I mean, if they're gonna push out this console, the most powerful console in the world, and they really feel like it's gonna sell and they want to sell it, they better put their money where their mouth is on it. So, but as far as them cutting costs, I don't know. I've been getting more on board with the we need more exclusives bandwagon. I used to kind of not care, but more recently I've kind of been on that trend of we need more exclusives. So in that case, yeah, it's kind of bad, but no, I don't think it's bad. If they really feel like they have something, they gotta, scared money doesn't make money, pretty much is all I'm trying to say. So they better put their money where their mouth is.
Yeah, man. I think it was the right decision by Phil. I know he gets a lot of crap, and some of it's earned and some of it isn't. But I think this X is going to be really good for the Xbox brand. The Xbox One S was necessary because of all the things that happened with the original Xbox. So they needed a smaller, sleeker version and kind of go away from the Kinect. And then they wanted to get the power narrative back, which they haven't had since 2000. Ever, or 2013.
Well, I was going to say, I agree with you, Salty, about the S, and I know why they did that. because the first everybody ragging on the first Xbox, but I think they could have. If they hadn't come out with the S last year, I wouldn't have bought another one. I would have just waited for the X period. But a lot of people wanted an upgrade from the original, what they called it, the VCR box, and they went and spent their money on it, and they may not be willing to spend another $500, and they may wait. And I think if they had not done the S, they could have got more people to jump on the X. Not saying there ain't a bunch of people already jumped on the X train now, but I think they probably would have got some more people that spent their money last year to jump on board the X train.
Yeah. I mean, we all knew they were going to develop a slim system anyways. I don't know if people would have wanted to wait for a little bit longer, because I'm pretty sure after a while, they saw that PlayStation did the mid-gen upgrade, and then people probably would have been like, hey, well, what about Xbox? Is Xbox going to get a mid-gen? So, I mean, I kind of foresaw it coming. So, but I'm happy that they actually went the route with the X, because I think at the end of the day, if you really think about it, because a lot of people, like I said, were bagging on Xbox, and I think Xbox finally just said, you know what, let's put something together to give everybody what they kind of essentially wanted. So that's why they put the X out now, which is crazy, because I think Microsoft went the route of, okay, well, this is what a lot of people are complaining about. This is what a lot of people are making fun of the X about. So maybe let's put this console together, and maybe everybody will hop on board about it. And the thing is, they put it together and it's coming out, and a lot of people are excited about it. But now you got the other fan bases that are pissed off, like, oh, well, it's not all about this. Well, you don't have the games. It's like, dude, if you really think about it, you were bagging on them. So they kind of made this console in a sense, because that's what you were saying. So they were making it almost for everybody. But now the other half are like, what? But I mean, I'm glad they did it, because in a sense it looked like they were trying to reach out to more than just the Xbox fan base, because like I said, everybody was, talking smack about the Xbox. So I think in their heads, maybe if we designed this powerful console, maybe everybody will be excited about it and jump on board, because you got the one half talking trash about it. Maybe if they, maybe they'll like what we designed. And now, of course, they don't, because now it's going to beat the hell out of the PlayStation. So now they're talking more trash about it. But I'm glad they're making it. I'm glad, because it's just a powerful console. Yeah.
So I talked about this, I think it was one podcast ago or two. There was a news report that was saying that Xbox was going to take a certain approach to their consoles. It was going to be more like a cell phone model. And then PlayStation came out and said they're going to do the generations. Well, new news came out and they refuted that. They said, we're not doing that. We're sticking with generations and stuff like that. So it's interesting, because there's all this information coming out about, okay, so we're doing, iterations, because technically this is an iteration, right? It's not a completely new reset of the generation. But Xbox is coming out and saying, hey, we're going to stick to the generation model. I'm kind of confused, because what is their approach? Like, are they doing the cell phone model, or are they not? I'm wondering why they would say, we're sticking with the generations, but you're coming out with this mid-gen refresh. What's your guys' take on that?
I bet you they got a bunch of flack for saying they were going to do the whole cell phone thing. I bet you that's what happened. I bet you a bunch of people said, hey, we don't want that. And I bet you they kind of went back on the words and said, okay, well, then we're just going to do generations, and then do a mid-gen refresh, or fix other problems, like how the trend's been going with the Xbox One, and they come out with a 1S 360 Slim. So I think they're going to start coming out. It's going to stay the same. Come out with consoles, figure out what went wrong, what they could fix, come out with a console that improve on it, and then that's it. I don't know what's going to come after the X. I feel like they really can't do it after the X. They probably just might as well come out with a new generation.
Microsoft's their PR is so skewed at times. It sounds like 1 minute they're going to do the mid-gen refresh, and then they go back and see, and they say we're going to stick with the console generation thing. and I think I read somewhere that they're going to stick to like every 4 years now. Well, we just got a mid-gen refresh in 4 years. So what is it going to be? A mid-gen refresh every 4 years, or is it going to be a new console generation?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of confusing to people, and everybody who's not hardcore like us, that'll confuse the shit out of them. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I would like them to actually go back to generations, but I think at this point, I think they found something that worked. So I think they're gonna go with that. I think it's not gonna be every 6, 8 years we're gonna get a new console. I think it's just gonna be every time now. They're gonna put out a system, and then because I'd like to see them just put out the one and then put out a slimmer model and stuff like that, because that's what they were doing before. But now it's like, okay, well, let's give these beefier versions a mid-gen upgrade. So, and I think they found out that it worked, especially on like the PlayStation side. A lot of people thought it was going to be one thing, and the Pro was more or less just to handle the VR support. But I think box side, it's delivering the more mid-gen refresh. So I think they're seeing that it's kind of something that's working. So I think this is kind of what we're going to see as a trend from now on. I think we're not going to have the big generations anymore.
A lot of
but there you go.
But I was gonna say a lot of younger gamers didn't grow up when we did, and a console generation back then wasn't about 4 years. If you go back and look at the OG Xbox, it was 2001, and then the Xbox 360 came out in 2005. They were still sticking to that model, but back in the day, it was Sega Genesis, Sega Master System, the regular NES, the regular Nintendo. I think they were like 4 years apart. That's been a long time ago for me, but it was like 4 years, and they need to go back to that. They just need to get their wording right, their marketing right. If they want to call it a console refresh every 4 years, that's fine. They want to call it the new generation every 4 years like it used to be. Just get your wording right, your freaking PR right, and your commercials to explain that to the masses who are not gamers like us.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, Jago, and I'm glad you mentioned it. I feel like they need to figure out their identity, because obviously this X was kind of a reactive thing.
Yeah,
they got burned in the beginning of the generation because of the approach that previous regimes took, and it was unfortunate. So they're kind of cleaning up the mess, and R&D takes years, right? So this has been in the works for years. It's been a thing where they're trying to, say, hey, we screwed up, so we're fixing our problems. So, it is a mid-gen refresh, but they don't want to commit to that model, right? Because they don't want to piss off their fan base. So people, this could be a very successful thing, the Xbox One X, and then giving people options, I think, is a good thing. I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm a fan of upgrading like every 2 years. Like that would be like the definition of the cell phone model. But like in every 4 years, maybe, because the 360 generation just extended way too long.
That was way too long.
I think that hurt development of games and all this other thing, like technology and pushing games forward. That hurt a lot of different things, and we don't want to go back to that model, but we don't want to upgrade our system every 2 years. So they're kind of they're stuck between a rock and a hard place, because it's a good thing per se, but it's a bad thing as well.
As fast as technology is moving, you don't need to have a console, a fixed box, last for 8, 9, or 10 years. That's what the problem with the 7th generation was. Because the developers had squeezed all the horsepower out of all those, the 7th generation consoles as they could have after about the first 4 or 5 years, and then they were kind of going, well, we could do more, but these boxes suck now. We need something different. But PlayStation and Xbox, they rested on their laurels and just let the boxes sell, and they did. But no console in the generation needs to go that long ever again.
You don't think so? 10 years wasn't good enough?
No,
10
that's
years.
too much.
It's weird because, like, even in the beginning of the Xbox One generation and the PlayStation 4 generation, the games that were coming out were held back by the previous generation. So it takes like a year or two, probably 2 years, I would say, to harness the technology's power. So you kind of like you got to wait 2 years for the fullness of the effects to come out. And that, I believe it's going to be the same thing with the Xbox One X, not specifically because it's not a new generation, but devs get their hands on the new technology and they're able to harness that power. So I think we're all on the same page here. I think Sony's just sitting back pretty because, fortunately they took the right approach in the beginning of the generation. They didn't have the Kinect that they shoved down people's throats. They had the more powerful situation and the more powerful console, and it was sold for $100 less. So that's where this all came from, and they're just sitting back pretty. They have this huge lead. They don't have to make reactionary decisions based off of the X. I heard a lot of people say, they're going to come out with PlayStation 5 in 2018 because the X is going to be more powerful. They could care less about how powerful the X is right now because they're still pushing consoles. And it's they're pushing the PlayStation Slim, which is cheaper to produce, and they have that lead. So who knows how long they're going to have the PlayStation 5. So it should be interesting to see how long Microsoft sticks with the X, because it feels like they're still behind the 8 ball. They're still trying to catch up to PlayStation. So it's just like when would be the right time to come out with the Xbox 2 or whatever you're going to call it? I hate the name, by the way. I don't know how they're going to fix that.
Yeah.
Like the Xbox
Me
One was, like how anyway, like I don't know how long.
Gripes. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, that was one of my gripes in our earlier podcast. Their name thing, man. Xbox 360, and then everybody guessed it was going to be Xbox 720, and they came out and did Xbox One because the whole home all-in-one entertainment system. They need to stick with a name like PlayStation has, and don't change it every box, dude. Come on, what's the deal with up there in Washington? I don't get it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, they might be toking on the ganja or something like that, but it was from
I guarantee you they are.
It was a previous regime, right? And it's not Phil's fault that they named it, because they were trying to do this, TV, sports, TV, sports, TV. And it's like the all-in-one situation. So they're kind of like, they were screwed basically because they couldn't just come out with a new name for the Xbox One X, right? Because it's not a new generation. But I want to know, when is that going to end in the next generation? Like, are they going to call it something else? It should be interesting.
I think it was smart because the Xbox One X it spells Xbox. That was very smart on their part. But they got to figure out if they're going to call it Xbox 2, which screams by me. Not really. They got to, I wish they would be more like Sega back in the day and have like on edge marketing and have a name. Like back in the day, the Sega Genesis was like, I got to have a Genesis. It was fire. You know what I'm saying? The Sega Saturn. Sega Saturn. I got to have that. Sega Dreamcast. They got to come up with something. Now they got it, the Xbox One X, which spells Xbox. Stick with that, but make sure your marketing or whatever you call it don't take away, and confuse people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So speaking of,
bro,
I know, man. The chat is lit tonight. I want to thank everybody for getting lit. Let's have fun tonight. Crack open some, brewskis, and let's talk about games. So,
hell yeah.
Have you guys had any soup lately? You guys big fans of soup?
I just had that Progresso soup from Coles Eastwood. It was delicious, by the way.
Oh my god! So, if the chat hasn't heard, there's this big thing in the news. Digital Foundry got some video comparisons of the PlayStation 4 Pro and the Xbox One X, and for the Shadow of War video game, all the PlayStation 4 versions of the game soupy. The textures
sure did.
So there's this huge thing going on social media. It's called Soupgate. I don't know. I've heard different things. I call it Soupgate. But Colt Eastwood has drawn mock-ups of like a can of Progresso soup, or what do you call it?
Progresso.
PlayStation 4 Progresso soup or something like that.
Yeah.
And he had pictures of like the textures on there, and it was like the soup, and it does look like soup, but it's funny as shit, man. I mean, if you've been with Xbox for the long ride and you got, drugged through the dirt about 720 versus 1080, this is gold right now for Xbox.
Oh yeah, dude, this is like this is definitely a beautiful, beautiful site. I mean, Soupgate Pro. Oh my God, dude. I mean, just watching this and just actually, especially because Digital Foundry, you know, they always kind of seem like for a while they were siding with PlayStation. So for them to kind of turn and say stuff like this about the PlayStation, I mean, that's kind of a big slap in the face. And they kind of like stacked up a delicious shit sandwich to feed PlayStation per se. So yeah, this is a really, really nice thing to see. You know, PlayStation kind of getting tossed out like that, the Soupgate and everything. So I mean, if you want to go that route and say, hey, you know, the Xbox fans, you know, if there was ever, you know, a victory type thing, here it is. This really just kind of laid the smackdown on PlayStation. So, I mean, I'm enjoying it, but
Hey,
You know what's sad? You know what's sad? This is not going to be the only Progresso soup flavor for the next probably 2-3 years either. So that's what's really sad about it.
Oh my God.
yeah,
the
and
chunky
it's fun-
flavor.
Get it.
It's funny because people, you know, were focused on resolution, but they didn't take into account the massive amount of extra RAM that's in the box, and you know the you know the textures, the assets. That's what's gonna, you know, set the game apart. Play 360 games or older titles, and the biggest thing that bothers me is the textures.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys have done this, but like, go back and play an older game. The walls, they look like it's just not developed, it's not defined, and that's what's going to set this console apart. And the funny thing is, Soupgate is awesome. I mean, we need to keep this hashtag lit on Twitter, lit on social media, because it's funny. I mean, the whole generation's been about, you know, resolution, but you know,
It was. It is now.
you know, it was, you know, but you know, a lot of people just said because the PS4 Pro came out and that set the bar extremely low for what these iterations were going to be, you know, because the PlayStation 4 Pro, let's call it as it is, it was made to support the PlayStation VR, which, by the way, is a failure. You can at me on Twitter if you want to have that discussion. It was
I got
made
one, dude. I can say it is. I got one. I can say it is.
So it was made for the PlayStation VR, PSVR, and it's a resolution box. It doesn't do anything. It, you know, it's either it bumps the resolution or it can bump the textures. It can't do both, you know. So a lot of people were saying, you know, this was going to be the same case with the Xbox One X. You know, it's just going to be a resolution. It's going to be, you know, the developers aren't going to take the time to use the, you know, the full power of the system because they don't have the marketing rights, and, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Take on this, man. I mean,
it can play the 4K Blu-rays, man. Remember? Oh no, damn! I forgot it's the wrong box, man. Wrong box.
I mean, it's quite hilarious because, like, you know, I've put up plenty of videos. Other YouTubers have put up plenty of videos talking about how developers are like enjoying the hell out of, you know, working with the Xbox and everything. In any comment section on some of those videos or any of the other, oh, I'm tired of hearing about these developers. It's not always about the developers. Oh, it's actually, yes, it is, because it is their game that is going on the console. And if they are enjoying working with this, why wouldn't they want to talk about it? So now not only is the Xbox One X about ready to whoop the hell out of your resolution box, now you're tired of hearing the devs going on saying, oh, you know, we enjoy working with this. This is the best thing. You know, it's easy to work with. It's great to port stuff over. Now you're all like, shut up. We don't want to hear it. Well, put your damn pacifier back in your mouth. Go climb back in your bed and take a nap, because the big boys are about to play.
Spilt milk, man. They're just crying over spilt milk, bro. I mean, for real. Like, you know, for the past 4 years, all we've heard is PlayStation is better than the Xbox. So we have exclusives. Oh, it looks better. We have better resolution. And then as soon as something happens and they don't have it anymore, then now they want to make excuses and not, you know,
Well,
And I've never been
you
one to
remember
make
the
an
whole
excuse
thing.
for Xbox ever, but I've played Xbox and I enjoy it, and I've never been one to say, "Oh man, Xbox is better than PS4." I've never been one to really compare the two, but I
No.
cannot stand it when people do that, though, for real. Like,
You-
and so now that they're getting all mad and upset, it's pretty funny to me.
Do you remember the whole thing at the beginning of the generation? Sony made a big deal about 1080p makes you a better gamer, and now resolution doesn't matter. Ain't that funny?
Yeah.
Yeah, they should come out with a thing and be like, the better the soup, the better the gamer. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm totally gonna try and put something together and throw that up on Twitter either tonight or tomorrow. The better the soup, the better the gaming.
That's great.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's funny, and the thing is I don't know. I personally don't have a PlayStation 4 Pro, but if I did, I would feel robbed and cheated at this point if I didn't have the PlayStation VR. I think the proof's in the pudding. The answer is clear. A lot of the ponies out there are just gonna act like the PS4 Pro doesn't exist anymore. I think that's going to be the approach. I don't know how they can rebound from this much of a disparity between the consoles. It's not even a comparison anymore, and that's why a lot of the times they were talking about a high-end PC when they were doing comparisons, because legitimately, if you do these side-by-side comparisons, it's night and day. It's not close. So it's not going to ever be competitive in the future. And the more the devs have their hands on this console and they have time, like I said, this is the beginning. It's only going to get better as time progresses. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
As long as Microsoft don't lose their the way they're going now, their perspective will be good. Keep the power narrative. Wait a year till we'll see what Sony comes out with the PS5 or the PS4 Pro, and always keep the power. As long as they do that, they'll attract more and more fans. They might even get some fans over from the PC, because at the end of the day, us guys as console gamers knows it's about ease of use. You know that. You turn it on, sit in your recliner, ain't sitting at a desk, ain't sitting looking at a 28-inch or 24-inch monitor in a freaking computer chair. And like Noof said, most people don't have a computer monitor sit beside their TV unless you're a bachelor. Give me a break. Console is the way to go.
There's one thing I'm looking forward to, and that is the whole at this come in the near future, whenever you start hearing developers complain about how the PS4 Pro is holding back their work and holding back what the capabilities of their games can do, and seeing how the Sony ponies react to it. I mean, that's all we've heard for the last 4 years is Xbox is holding back all these games. The Xbox One's holding back all these games, and I am looking forward to that role reversing and seeing how they handle it. It's going to be enjoyable. It really is.
If I could put a GIF up in the chat or up in the chat right now, I put up that GIF of Tony Stark clapping, saying, "Preach, brother."
So it's interesting. You guys heard that Halo, the Master Chief Collection, is getting a nice little 4K patch.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Definitely.
I did a video on this. There's a rumor going out that because Halo, the Master Chief Collection, is getting this extra time, and they're getting the patch, that Halo 6 is going to be delayed to 2019. I don't think that this is factual, or it's obviously hasn't been stated anywhere. I want to know your guys' take on this. Like, do you think this is true? What's your take on Halo 6 being delayed, or possibly being delayed? Like, when it should be coming out? Jago, you could start off if you want to.
Dude, that's a double-edged sword. Either way you look at it, you could be wrong if you say this. You could be wrong if you say that. They may have a small team that's just doing the 4K update for the Master Chief Collection, and another part of the team working on Halo 6. But I mean, it's hard to say, man. I was thinking about that earlier. I don't know one way or the other. I don't think it is, but if you go on record right now and say, yeah, that's the reason why Halo 6 is not coming out next year, you're gonna be wrong. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, Glitch. What do you think, man?
I mean, to go off of what he's saying is that's the thing that nobody's actually really looking at, is how many people are actually sitting down working on the Master Chief Collection versus who is actually working on Halo 6. Do I think Halo 6 is going to be delayed? No. I mean, like, that could be, like I said, a tricky thing though too, because you don't know how many people are doing what. There could be like literally 3-4 people at 343, you know, working on, you know, the Master Chief Collection, and everybody else could still be right on track focused on Halo 6. So maybe this is probably just somebody throwing smoke up in the air to kind of like, well, Master Chief is being worked on, so there's no Halo 6. Oh, so your flagship isn't going to be there. Oh, so maybe it's just possibly somebody just trying to stir up some shit, which I don't think. I don't develop games. I buy them. I love them. I know a lot about them, but it could take like 3-4 people to get all this stuff set up and running. It's not going to take a whole development crew to work on the 4K assets for a game. So
yeah, and I think negative news unfortunately drives like interests per se in videos and everything else, and that's the unfortunate side. So I'll let Nick give his take, and then I'll kind of give my spiel about it. But Nick, what do you think they're associated or have nothing to do with each other, or what's your take, man?
Quite possibly, but they might be associated by the fact that maybe Halo 6 won't be ready, and this news about the 4K is just a distraction, so they can sort of delay it a little bit. But as far as, do I think resources to making a 4K update to the Master Chief Collection is going to sort of get in the way of Halo 6, and they're going to use so much resources on the Master Chief Collection that Halo 6 gets pushed back? Well, one, if they did that, that would be not a smart business move. And two,
agreed,
I don't think that's possible. Like you said, there'll only be a few people really working on it. So I don't think that has anything to do with it. But I do see on the flip side, it could, maybe Halo 6 does get delayed, and this is just a distraction, or something to put in, to fill sales or whatever in between, the release of Halo 6 and when it was supposed to come out. But as far as like resources, I don't see that happen. There's no way.
So the thing is I've been saying that Halo's been on this like 3 years development cycle, and if the game is delayed, it's because they're doing a completely new rework of the story. Because obviously before they went the route with Halo 5, back from the fans about Locke and the storyline there. So if they had to like do major adjustments with like the storyline, that could delay the game. But if you think about it, if Halo doesn't come out, when it's supposed to in 2018, what are the games that are going to be coming out? Forza Horizon is definitely going to be coming out, and some other things. And the risk that's run there, Sea of Thieves, State of Decay, but those games were supposed to be coming out this year, so they're pushing those games back. I hope it's not pushing those games back to fill the void of a huge title like Halo, because
I don't think it's being delayed. I think it's just people talk some shit. Just it's just my opinion.
It's just So everybody has their opinion. I've just heard it been floating around the community and social media and stuff like that. So if I had to guess, I think they're on track. And Phil's come out and said that he doesn't want to hype up games too far in advance. So it would be nice to at E3 for them to show a trailer of Halo, and then the game comes out 6 months later.
Well, so. I understand where Phil is coming with that statement, but you can't hype up. You can't get people excited for a game. It's hard to get a lot of people excited for a game if you show the game. I'm gonna exaggerate here, but it's kind of their mentality. 2 weeks before it comes out, what the hell? You ain't got to go too far and announce the game 4 years out. I mean, and they started doing that like with Scalebound. I was excited from day one for Scalebound, and then when it got canceled, dude, I was pissed because that game looked amazing. But don't announce a game 3 years out, 4 years out. That's just stupid. Why would you do that? Because by the time it comes out, unless you're marketing, and we all know their marketing sucks, people are going to forget about it. But you can't announce a game 2 weeks before it comes out. Like if Halo 6 is coming out this year, they need to make sure at the latest that they do it at E3. If it's for sure coming out, they should start doing it earlier and let people know it's coming. But at the latest, do it E3. I was supposed to say their marketing and their way of thinking up there drives me insane, dude. I don't get it.
Yeah. I think. Go ahead, Glitch.
I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, I do agree with that statement because look, we're about what 17 and 18 days away from the X, and now they're starting to run ads. So yeah, you definitely kind of need to get up on that a little bit more. You need to advertise more. Even okay, all right, the thing could be 3 months away, 4 months away. Start hyping it up. Start building it up. Do teasers. Bring more. Just don't. Yeah, like 2 weeks away. Oh, here's this. Oh, what is that? I know nothing about this. Especially like, okay, we're the hardcores. You got the hardcore gamers out there that are constantly looking at this stuff, checking everything out, getting as much information as you can. But say you got Joe Schmo over there, he plays games, but he doesn't like go super in depth with them, looking up everything. So, he's watching TV, and then all of a sudden he sees this new commercial, and he's like, "Wait, why am I just hearing about this now? What the hell?" So yeah, they definitely should get more out there. Like, okay, E3, those teasers, yeah, they should have been just throwing them out there more and more and more instead of, like, oh, well, the people on the internet they'll retweet them, they'll share them, people will look them up on YouTube. No, they should just be running it all the time, building more to it. I mean, that's what I think.
Well, if you look back at the Xbox 360 marketing, they did it all the time, dude. Commercials. How many commercials did you see for the 360? Everywhere. Hell, even for the original Xbox. And now they're like, well, we don't need to run commercials or do advertising because we got this grassroots marketing thing going on. Get that trash out of here, dude. Be proud of your system. Good God almighty.
Yeah. Yep. I think I did a video about their marketing, and I don't know, man. I think that they need to, I wouldn't call for anybody's head, but they need to make some changes. Let's just put it like that,
I think their Achilles heel. I was going to say this too. I didn't mean to cut you off, Salty, but they rely too much on Windows because they have that money maker to rely on, so they don't have to push the Xbox brand. You know what I'm saying? They get the money from every computer that's sold. You know what I'm saying? God, I wish it would treat the Xbox console as they're proud of it, something to be proud of. But instead, they treat it like a redheaded stepchild. They want to keep it in the closet and feed it bread and water every couple of hours.
Yeah, and with that interview with Phil Spencer, he didn't calm people down when it comes to the worry that they're kind of not focusing on the console space, because he was asked some specific questions and he kind of just skated around it, and he said, it's the gaming space. We're not focused on just consoles. So I don't know, man. It should be interesting to see. We'll see what happens. I think that we'll be okay. I think a lot of games are going to be coming out for 2018, and I personally believe that Halo's going to be one of those. But if it does get delayed, then we'll cross that bridge when it comes. So anyway, an official mouse and keyboard has been spotted online. So it is definitely coming to the Xbox One. I want to get some quick, fire takes from you guys about mouse and keyboard, because I haven't really heard you guys' takes on the whole matter. So it's definitely gonna be here soon. I want to know what you guys think. Is this a big issue for the Xbox One and consoles in general? Let's start off with Nick. I want to hear what you got to think there.
Looks like I got to learn how to use a mouse and keyboard now. That's what that seems like. Because like I've always been against mouse and keyboard for console. It constantly comes with a controller. You play with the controller. But now it looks like we're going to have to start learning how to use mouse and keyboard, because we do know that mouse and keyboard is better on PC. Bringing that, and it's super when you play first-person shooters. Mouse and keyboard is super sweaty, and you already see it leaking into games already on Xbox One. So, I mean, now that it's going to be here, it looks like I got to learn how to do it because ain't no way I'm going to be surviving any multiplayer games, with a controller in my hand.
Yeah, I don't know how specifically that works. I don't know about you guys, but I game on a couch, so
yeah, same here.
How does that work? How does that work out? Like, do you?
I game on in a recliner, dude.
Yeah, me too. I game in a recliner too, bro.
Keep back. So what are we gonna do? Like,
I don't
pull a table up and stick our arms up, and
this is my take on it. I don't give a rat's ass about a mouse and a keyboard. I am a console guy. I have been a console guy since day one, since I was 10 or 11 years old. I don't give a shit about to build my PC. I build a PC. I don't want to buy a pre-built PC. Screw PC. As long as they don't make me play against people on mouse and keyboard that give them a distinct advantage, I'm not cool with that. But if I can say go into a multiplayer lobby and it says, "Do you want to play with people with mouse and keyboard?" And I can say, "Hell no." That's cool. Bring the mouse and keyboard to the Xbox. But if I got to play with them, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, this is something I actually talked about a while ago with the mouse and keyboard. And from if I remember what the whole article entailed when I put it up in the video, they were bringing it over. The mouse and keyboard support where it's on its way over, and from what the article said, it's going to give you the options to choose what lobbies you want to play in if you are playing online with that, if you want to play against players with mouse and keyboard, or you can use a controller. So I don't think it's going to be something we are forced to constantly use, but from what it said when I mean, this was a while ago, they talked about you would have the options to choose what rooms you want to play in. So if you wanted to try the mouse and keyboard, me personally, I've done a little bit of both. I'm more comfortable with a controller. I have messed with a mouse and keyboard a little bit, but that's mainly like Diablo and stuff where you point and click and your guy walks. To actually be full on like trying like say Overwatch style or Call of Duty Halo style. Oh no. I mean, I will definitely give it a shot. Watch myself get murdered, but yeah, like I said, if I remember correctly, it's they give you the choices if you want to go into those rooms. So yeah, we're not going to be forced to have it, like this is how we're going to have to navigate everything from here on out. It's just going to be a nice little added feature and option. So if somebody did want to branch out on it with their Xbox, because I know they had some minor features with that on the PlayStation, but and all that, but people are going to want to try it out and give it a shot on this too and everything. So I mean, if you want to use it, that option is going to be there for you guys to screw around with and give it a shot. If you don't give a damn, I mean, it's there and you don't have to use it. So,
yeah, my take on the whole thing is I kind of knew this was coming a long time ago because I play first-person shooters mainly, and in Destiny 1, I was getting sniped by people that were live streaming, not me necessarily, but there's people that were on Twitch live streaming with their mouse and keyboard that they got from, Amazon. And this dude had a camera on his hand showing him using the mouse and keyboard, and everybody was pissed off. They're like, "Oh, ban this guy, he's cheating, blah, blah, blah." He didn't care because he knew that nothing was going to happen to him, So a lot of people have been using mouse and keyboard on console. I wouldn't say a majority because it's not even close, but there are those people that have been using it. And when they do that, they're in regular lobbies. They're playing with, people with controllers. So if you give the option for people to use mouse and keyboard, then they can have separate rooms like we talked about, and it can be more regulated. So it has the potential of, being a better thing. Even if you don't agree with it. I personally don't understand. Like I said, I feel like the console space, I equate it with a TV in a couch and, you know, turning on my TV and playing. But I guess there's people out there that sit at a desk and have it on a, you know, with a monitor. It just seems like it's kind of counterproductive when you have it set up that way. You know, you would think that you'd be almost better off playing on a PC, but we don't want to judge the way people choose the game around here. I think it was just interesting news because if you guys didn't know that, now you know it. It's on its way. So
yeah, I mean, it's definitely an option for people. If you want to try it, it's there. If not, you're not. Don't lose sleep over it. So.
Yep. So people game the way they game, and we're not going to tell people how to spend their money. All right. So one of the last topics to the night, Nintendo Switch is killing it, as we know. It's the news came out that sales have passed 2 million, and it's topping Xbox and PlayStation on a regular basis over the last 6 months. I want to know what you guys think about the whole situation there. Like, how are they pulling this off? I mean, the Switch is doing its thing, and it's killing the market. I've heard some people on social media predicting that's going to win NPD for November, and that's when the Xbox One X is coming out. Let's start off with Jago. I want to know how is Nintendo pulling this off? You know, it's crazy.
At the end of the day, man, you got to think about where we come from, how electronics and technology, where it's come from. Nintendo, at the end of the day, whether, you know, even though I quit buying Nintendo products after the GameCube, they were a success with the Wii. They were a failure with the Wii U with their marketing because everybody thought it was an add-on, the gamepad. They started listening, and they started seeing their bank account shrink, and they followed the trends, man. They follow the trends. I mean, think about it. Everybody's got a mobile device in their hand. I was at the gas station today. I had to get gas. And how many times, and it was a female, how many times do you see females when you pull up to the gas station, they'll stick the pump in, and they'll sit back down and jump right on their cell phone? It's every day. People are so used to having technology in their hands everywhere they go. That's why Nintendo did what they did with the Switch. They said, screw the traditional console. Let's make a console portable hybrid. And it was a smart business move. You know, even though the Switch is severely underpowered, but it was a smart business move on their part, and smart business moves make you what? Money. And of course it's going to sell well.
Right.
Do I think it's going to take the NPD for November? Hell no. No, because there's a lot of people that's going to jump ship from the PlayStation, us hardcore Xbox people, and some casual going to go out and buy the power, because at the end of the day, people love power. Why did they make sports cars? You know, people love to drive a sports car that's got so many horsepower. The power. You know, the Xbox is going to sell well. It's not going to. It's going to take. I think it's going to take November, December. That's a toss up. But I mean, Nintendo was smart. I mean, they follow trends. Do I think Xbox needs to come out with a portable console? Hell no, because we already saw Sony do it and they lost to Nintendo. Nintendo's got that market, so they put their thinking caps on, and let's say our mobile market is doing well, our home market isn't doing so well. Let's combine them. So did I see this coming? Of course I did. Just like I saw the PS4 Pro going to suck ass, and I knew better than buy it because it wasn't worth buying. Resolution box. But at the end of the day, I mean, they were smart, dude.
Right.
Nick, what do you think, man? What do you think about this whole thing?
Man, I mean, like you said, it was a genius move on their part. They had a hold on the handheld market, and they weren't doing so on the console market. So what do? They just whipped it up and put it into one thing. And so now you can play it on your TV, or you can take it on the go. And it was just a great idea. And I mean, I've been a fan of Nintendo. Like, I started on Nintendo as a little kid, so I've been a fan of Nintendo from the beginning. I didn't switch to Xbox until the 360 came out. Like Jago said, the last thing I played Nintendo was the GameCube. The Wii was whack. The Wii U was even worse. But now I'm actually genuinely interested in getting a Switch, and I probably will get a Switch. My kids want one. My wife wants one. So there's going to be a Switch in this house sooner rather than later. And so, for me, I can't help but cheer for Nintendo because, like I said, I've been with Nintendo since the beginning, and I only switched because if 360 offered online play and parties, and it was more social, and so that's what I did. But I mean, Nintendo. Will I see them taking the MPD for November? I don't know. It depends on how, like Jago said, I think more people go towards the Xbox, but I mean, it depends on how they market. Black Friday's coming up.
Yeah.
So,
that's
we're
a big
just going to
one.
have to wait and see. So Black Friday's coming up. They're going to be selling hella Nintendo Switches then. I mean, heck, if there's a deal, I might cop one for real. So we'll just have to see. But I can't help but put my hands up and clap for Nintendo because they've been struggling for the last – I mean, even
two
toward
generations.
For 2 generations, toward the end of the GameCube, they've been struggling with the console and only doing handhelds, and now it seems like they're kind of back with this idea. So hats off to them.
Cool.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Glitch, what do you think?
All right. I mean, we all grew up when we were growing up as little kids. We all had Nintendos. Nintendo was like the house. Like it was in everybody's house. That was everybody's gaming console. That's what we all grew up on. Nintendo's
Sega.
Well, then you had Super
Don't
Nintendo
forget Sega.
Oh yeah, you can't forget Sega. But the first things we ever got our hands on, and Nintendo is gonna always be the nostalgic thing for all of us. It's going to be the gaming console we all remember playing when we were younger. Mario is that icon that everybody is always going to remember, like Sonic is to Sega. You see Mario, you see an image of these characters, you know who they are right away. So you definitely gravitate towards them. Everybody loves Nintendo. Everybody loves the nostalgia of it. Everybody just loves the little games. Even grown-ass adults are still jamming away like on Mario and having a good time. Like I know a whole bunch of people that are ready to pick up Mario Odyssey just for the fact, it's just nostalgic reasons and the game looks fun. So Nintendo did have a bad way for a little bit. The Wii and the Wii U really, I mean, I've got it. It's still sitting out on my entertainment stand. I think it's got like 20 inches of dust on it. But they came out with the Switch and it put them back up there. And I'm glad that, I love my Xbox. I mean, I love the hell out of it, but dude, I always got to look at the main thing that brought me into gaming was Nintendo. And I don't own a Switch yet. I am going to get one because, I'm remember where I came from and I grew up with, and yes, Nintendo is always going to have a spot in my heart. So I'm glad that they're just jamming away, especially coming back out of a bad way. Now, segueing into the November sales, is it going to, take over the MPD for the Xbox and everything? Well, that's going to be we'll have to see what happens when we cross that bridge, because Xbox, if you want to pretty much say it, is in that bad way like Nintendo is. So now they're going to be crossing that bridge, and maybe the X, with everybody hyped up and ready to go for it, everybody's going to jump up on there. So maybe November, they're definitely going to pick it up. Is it going to take the MPD? That is going to be really hard because Nick made a comment.
Right.
Black Friday. That is going to be that will be, I would say, the defining moment that Nintendo could even take out the X, because the Switch has been around for a while, so they can make up some crazy ass deal that will be like, well, you can get the Switch with 8 games for $200. What the fuck? So,
right.
But yeah, that's going to be a tough call. So we'll have to see November when that happens. So, but that's my take on it.
I do have one quick question, because you mentioned something. You mentioned Nintendo has these icons. They have Mario, and you mentioned Sonic with for Sega, and now that Nintendo kind of dabbles with Sega, Nintendo now gets Sonic. So here's my question, because we were talking about marketing. Do you think that Xbox needs that sort of icon? I mean, they have Master Chief or whatnot, but I mean, do you think that's missing from Microsoft and Xbox, that sort of icon that you can put up on a TV screen and everybody's going to see it and they're going to notice it and they're going to say, that's Mario, that's Nintendo, and they can, recognize it too and market it that way? Do you think that's
They
part
need
of
a new
Microsoft's
one.
problem?
They need a new one.
Yeah, they definitely need to have that type of icon because, like, yeah, exactly. Now, even if you see a Bandicoot, what do you think right away? Crash.
PlayStation.
Crash.
Yep. Crash Bandicoot. I mean, yeah, now you are going to have a lot of people that do see Master Chief and they'll be like, oh, yeah, dude, it's Halo. I know Halo. It's Xbox.
Don't forget Marcus Phoenix, but what does those two icons scream? 360.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Yeah, that's also something like you've got those two. You got Mario and Sonic. Yeah, they're forever imprinted in everybody's minds. Like I am 36 years old. How old is Mario? And I could see a red hat, be like Mario. I could see a blue spike, Sonic. Yeah. So, yeah, definitely. A lot of people know who Master Chief is. A lot of people know who Marcus Phoenix is. But yes, I think 100% Xbox does need to develop some type of icon that will forever be like, oh yeah, dude, that character's from Xbox. Hell yeah, that's Microsoft all the way. So yeah, I mean, we got it with Master Chief, but I think we do need to get a revamp of something more. I mean, but yeah, Master Chief is doing pretty good right now.
Right.
But yes, eventually will Master Chief stand the test of time? Like a Mario or Sonic? That's also another question.
That's debatable.
Yeah.
Right. That's debatable. That's what I was
I think
getting at as far as that goes.
I think you guys are forgetting about the biggest icon that's around the corner, Super Lucky Tail. Or Super Lucky's Tail.
No,
everybody's gonna forget about Mario, and
you know
everybody
what?
else. It's just
Shannon Loftus is a retard. Oh my god!
Oh my
With
god!
freaking
Oh my!
Super Lucky's Tail.
You know
I
what?
mean,
Screw you guys. I'm getting that game. That game looks fun.
It does. But I know I'm not gonna buy it. I'm not gonna play it because that's not my cup of tea anymore. Now give Super Lucky's Tail a Rambo knife and an M16 where he can blow people away and chop their head off. Yeah, I'll be all about it.
Oh, you mean Conquer?
yeah. No, I think what it boils down to is Nintendo just has, obviously they go the route of the animation route, and they're friendly to all audiences. These icons that they have aren't everybody can view them. Small children, the older audience, but
that's kind of the point I'm getting at.
The audience, the icons that Microsoft holds right now, it's kind of limited to the shooters, the more violent video games.
Yeah,
so it's not for everybody, so that's the difference there. But as far as the Switch goes and the sales, I think it's awesome. I had a Super Nintendo, and I actually had a story where my mom would give me lunch money, and I would pocket the lunch money and eat my friend's lunch and save money. And I ultimately saved up enough money for a Super Nintendo back in the day. So
I used to do that too.
Hashtag mooching.
Yeah, seriously. So,
Hey, man, you got to do what you got to do back in the day, bro. That's hustling. He was hustling, bro.
He was hustling.
Oh yeah.
So Nintendo has a special place in all of our hearts, and I think they can't do much wrong. They did with the last console they came out with, but in general, I think
had 2 years of a lot of wrong.
Yeah, so they're trendsetters, and I commend them for that because they take risks that the other companies can't do. The other companies
most
can't.
Definitely.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I think that they have the leeway to do these things because if they fail, they have the money to overcome the failures. They're not going to go under. Like, Sony, for example, they need to stay afloat and they need to have successes with their gaming division. So you're not going to see them, doing crazy, crazy things. But Nintendo, they can make, dumb decisions and not make money off their things and still stay afloat for years and years, right? So I don't know, it's a good thing, and I think that more than anything, I think the Switch is just a compliment. I think that you're going to see a lot of people, like you guys were saying, I'm going to get the Switch in addition to my Xbox or in addition to my PlayStation, or and I think it's just a console that's just it's for everybody, and it's a genius thing for them.
It was.
So,
Oh, yeah.
are they going to win MPDs for November? If the supply is there, I think they might. And it hurts to
especially
say
on Black
that.
Friday.
But we know they're
Yeah, it
horrible
hurts
at
to say.
supply. Look at the NES and the Super NES. Hell, and the Switch itself, man. Good
It's true.
God.
It's true, man. I mean, so if history tells us anything, it's going to tell us that the supply is not going to be there, and if the supply is not going to be there, it doesn't matter if they have Mario bundles or whatever they have. They're not going to win MPD just because the supply isn't there. So we'll see what happens. I know there's some bets going down between some people out there in Twitter land about MPDs. So it should be interesting to see what happens in that market. So anyway, let's get to the last topic of the night. It's an interesting one, and then we'll be doing the giveaway. If you guys didn't know, EA, beautiful EA, decided to shut down Visceral Studios. If you guys didn't know, Visceral Studios was responsible for doing
Dead Space.
the beloved Dead Space, and this pissed a lot of people off. And if you guys didn't know, they were working on a Star Wars game. It was announced, I think, 2 E3s ago.
Yeah.
And EA just pulled the plug on them. And there's a lot of rumors out there that the reason why they pulled the plug is because it was a linear single-player game. So if you didn't know, the market's moving towards a Destiny model, and single-player games are at risk. So being the last topic of the night, it's pretty controversial. I don't know. It is what it is. I want to get your guys' take on this situation, and are single player games at risk? Let's start off with Glitch, and then we'll move throughout the panel.
I mean, well, first off, it sucks that they shut that studio down because they created Dead Space, one of my favorite. Well, the first one was absolutely terrifying. Are single players at risk? That's been something that's kind of been floating around for a while. Being with a lot of games are doing like what Destiny, Division, Anthem, everybody's jumping online and all of that. A lot of people kind of like, even with like Call of Duty and everything, people are always jumping online to the multiplayer, really not giving a shit about the story mode, hence which are like a lot of the games, if you notice, sometimes they'll put a story in there, but it's like 4 or 5 hours just to kind of give a campaign to somebody. But a lot of people are focused based on like online and all that stuff. I could see story modes and like single players and all that are kind of a little jeopardy, because everybody's more into jamming online with their friends, playing like, hey, Salty, what are you doing tonight? Oh, I'm about to hop on, the new Call of Duty. Cool. You want to jam some rounds on, the multiplayer? Yeah. Oh, you want to try the story? No, let's just do some multiplayer. I mean, I could see this, being a trend because it's been going that route for quite some time. So I could see it, definitely being at risk, because a lot of people want to jam online. Me personally, I like a mixture of both. I like playing by myself sometimes, just jamming away on a story like The Evil Within 2, playing the hell out of that. There's no online for it. Do I care? No. That's because I want to play that. But I think it's going to be more online oriented, like, a Destiny, Halo, Destiny Division type thing. Anthem, just kind of always online, no really single player campaign or anything going on. So, I could almost see somewhat single players being at jeopardy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So,
thanks, man.
But
Jacob, what do you think, man?
Well, first off, let me get this out the way. Fuck EA. They fucked Titanfall last year. In between Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty in Space Edition, and Titanfall, Titanfall 2 would have done way better if they hadn't screwed them in between that shoot 'em up sandwich. Okay,
it was a great idea, Jacob. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us how you really feel?
Oh, I just did. I love that game.
Oh man!
But and they go screw themselves again, man. And at the end of the day, they're all about making money. They shut down the studio, Visceral, that made one of the best horror franchises other than Resident Evil And if you look online, they don't give a shit. I was hoping for a Dead Space 4. And I wasn't really big into Dead Space. It was my old lady who got me into Dead Space. And a lot of people don't like the third one. And I thought all three of them were fantastic. And I was hoping for a new one. But of course, EA, the big money machine that they are, they're going to do what they're going to do because at the end of the day, every publisher is all about making money. And you go ask anybody at EA, they don't give a shit about you. Only thing they give a shit about is about the green that they pull out. You pull out your wallet or your purse. So I mean, it really pisses me off, dude. I mean, but EA, what can you do? Nothing.
So money. So you said it. Money is the driving force, and we're seeing microtransactions filter into games like Shadow of War and then Assassin's Creed. So Jago, to complete that question, are single player games at risk?
That was my other point I was going to make. If you haven't looked online, you need to open your eyeballs and get on Google or get on Twitter or look somewhere. The online campaign for Star Wars Battlefront 2 is going to be between 5 and 7 hours. That's a freaking joke, dude. Are you kidding me? That is a joke.
Bullshit.
But no, it's more focused on multiplayer. Okay, that's fine. How many games have a story and multiplayer? Give me what's an acceptable single player campaign. It needs to be, in my opinion, I based it on The Last of Us because it had single player and multiplayer. How long was the story to The Last of Us? It depends on how fast you were. At least what, 15 hours?
Yeah, I was gonna say like 12 to 15 hours would be a good baseline, in my opinion, for a game.
But continue. Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, that's unacceptable. A 5 to 7 hour campaign, you can
put the rest of the story in a book.
Yeah, you can, dude. Yeah. I said it on Twitter. They don't need to call it a single player campaign. They need to call it a single player mission.
Yeah,
that's sad, dude.
If we're spending X amount of dollars on these games, I would like at least a decent length of a single player. If you're going to put it in there, 5 to 7 hours is not worth $60. I mean, especially somebody that like I like both. I like to have the story and the online. I like to have those options. I always don't want to play online. I want to play a story. If I'm going to be shelling out X amount of dollars for a game, I would at least like minimum 12 hours to it. I mean, you are going to jam these microtransactions in there, which I'm going to point out and say you don't have to use, but at least put some time into your story as well. Give us 12 hours at least. I mean, I
had a big issue with this when it was announced that it was going to be 5 hours long. I was holding on for that campaign with the Battlefront situation because of the pay to win stuff and whatever. But when they announced the 5 hours, I told Nick, I was just like, nah, I'll catch it on YouTube. I'll catch the cutscenes on YouTube and save the money, and catch it in the EA Access vault,
Yeah.
So I mean, basically, when they're doing that, when they're shoving a 5 hour campaign in there, it's just to appease, to say that we have a campaign. Right?
Exactly.
Have one.
I'm not buying it now, Salty. Once I saw that.
Yeah. So it is a problem because they're focused solely on the multiplayer. So Nick, I want to hear from you. Man.
Well, I made a video about this a few days ago talking about is the single player game a dying breed in the gaming market. I mean, man, it's like he said, like Jago said, EA, it's about them getting their money. They were spending 3 years developing the Star Wars game, Visceral Studios was, and they sent players to play it. They got a bad response on it. EA had already dumped a lot of money into the project. They deemed it as a failure right then and there. Canceled the game, took the concept, moved it somewhere else. Now they're going to make it an online multiplayer, whatever they're going to do with it. And that's in their blog post. They talked about the phrasing was, we are taking the game, and due to the changing in the shift and the trend in the market, we are going to make a different game. And I took that as them saying, well, everything's going to multiplayer online. And then we heard the news that it's going to now be a sort of Star Wars Destiny hybrid. That's the rumor that's coming out. That's where people are getting facts from. That's coming out. It's going to be a sort of Destiny Star Wars hybrid, whatever.
That's what I thought.
And so, now that we have that, we can see that that's where the market's going, and EA just wants their money, and most of these publishers are going to just want their money, and so they're going to reach into the pool and go with this model. Because how easy is it to make a multiplayer game? Players keep going back to it, keep going back. They don't just spend 20 hours on it and they're done with it. They keep coming back, and then you can add DLC. You make money off the DLC, or you can add microtransactions, make money off the microtransactions. Add a free-to-play model into an already paid game, and you'll make more money off of it. And so you can see that that's where all these publishers are going, and that's the trend. And we have already spent 2 weeks and 2 podcasts talking about microtransactions. Jay Fonzarelli went off about it. He's been on a tirade about microtransactions for the last week or two, and so we've already talked about it. But that seems to be where it's going. It seems to be single player games are going to be slowly killed off once these publishers figure out, hey, we can make a lot more money doing this model versus B model. And so, yeah, I mean, it's very unfortunate because as much as I love multiplayer games and I like playing online with my friends, I also do like playing single player games. We just saw Cuphead sell 1 million copies and counting. So we already know that single players can't exist. So it just seems to be, it's just sad that these publishers, and most of it's third-party publishers. I don't think it's mostly, your PlayStation. They have their single-player exclusives, Xbox, whatever. It's mostly just the third-party publishers, and that's the trend they're going with now. And that's just what we're going to get. And it's sad. It really is sad to me because I do enjoy playing single-player games, even though I do play most of the time. I play multiplayer games just to play with my homies. I only get 4 hours a day after work to play anyway. So I hop online, play with Salty, everybody. We play whatever online, play together. But I do like multiplayer games. Like I love the crap out of Rise of the Tomb Raider, Mass Effect Andromeda, even though it was crappy. That's my favorite franchise, and EA killed that because they deemed that a failure because it's not going to be an online hit. So they killed that.
Yeah. Well, look at it, Nick. If you think about it, what was the one game that people still talk about now? It was a single player. It had multiplayer too, but it was a single player. The story, what people talk about was the story, the single player mission, The Last of Us, and people still talk about that. What was it that people were talking about? The single player campaign.
Right, single player. Well, yeah, but that was 2013, 2012.
Yeah,
that was so long ago. Like you said, they see a trend and they see the market shifting, and that's where they're going to go. I think we're going to see very little single player games come out. I guarantee you it's going to be mostly multiplayers, and there's going to be this one big blockbuster single player game that comes out per year that everybody's going to play, and the rest is going to be just.
I agree with you because look at PUBG. It is only multiplayer.
Right.
But see, that's a game that I expect, when I pick that up, that's what I'm expecting. That's what I'm looking at. Like certain games, like, okay, Cuphead, I'm picking that up because it's a story-based game. PUBG, I'm looking at as just straight up online. So that's what I'm definitely picking up is an online game. But I do like the mixture of both. I don't want to have some chintzy ass 4 or 5 hour story rest multiplayer. So. But, no.
It's troubling to say the least. I think that it would impact the Xbox players more than the PlayStation players, obviously, because PlayStation makes their bread with single player games, and that's that's what they do. So, if anything, if you have an issue with this or you think it's going to be a troubling trend, and you're on Xbox, speak with your wallet. Honestly, that's all you can do at this point. You can voice your opinions on social media, but my take is money drives the market, and the market is saying that microtransactions are the way to go. And they're trying to push them into games like Shadow of War, but I don't think they're going to be making as much money as they can. So it definitely is troubling. When we do get these campaigns, they were just saying in chat, how long was the Halo 5 campaign? And that was about 8 hours long. So you're seeing if there's games that have high levels of multiplayer, like the Halos or the CODs or the Battlefronts that are focusing on the multiplayer. It looks like that the amount of hours you're getting with the campaigns are shortened, because they're focusing on the other side. So it should be interesting to see the way the market trends. It looks like it's trending in the wrong direction, but we shall see. So anyway, that's going to be it for the last topic of the night. We're going to do the outros, and then I'm going to do the giveaway. I want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat for being
Yes,
like
sir.
I said, it was pretty lit in the chat tonight.
Yeah.
We love gaming, and we're all passionate about it. I talk about it on my channel, but it is true. That's why we talk about games, and we love to talk about it with you guys. Yeah, let's get this party started. Let's go with the guest. Attack the Glitcher. Let's hear what you got. Let's get that shameless plug going on.
Oh yeah, the shameless plug. If you guys haven't noticed or know yet, I have a YouTube channel called Attack the Glitcher. I put content up there every other day. I got videos going up. I preach a good word about video games, Xbox, and all that fun stuff. Monday nights, I do run a podcast with my buddy Jago in there. It's at 6 p.m. CST time. It's called the X Power Podcast, so you can check that out tomorrow, actually. Other than that, if you dig it, you dug my if I could speak properly. Yeah, but you guys check me out, check out my YouTube channel, subscribe there. I got a bunch of content on there. You can follow me on Twitter at Attack Glitcher. You can also definitely hit me up on my Xbox at Attack Glitcher. So all that fun shit. So I'm done yakking away now. That's my outro. Shameless plug done.
Thanks, man. Thanks for coming on again. This was an awesome podcast. We flowed well together.
Problem.
We're all passionate about gaming and Xbox. Jago, let's hear from you, my buddy. Where can people find you?
First of all, if y'all haven't subbed to me or anybody else that's on this panel, shame on you. They're all great guys. They're all passionate about Xbox. I don't think none of them try to steer you one way or another like I wouldn't, because we all own all platforms. If you want to listen to us, make sure you're on YouTube every Sunday at 9 or 6. And if you want to find me, Twitter and Xbox Live at Jago Cukin. That's it, brother.
Thank you, man. All right, Nick, it's your turn, buddy.
Oh man, first of all, like this will be the first time I'll say this. Truly thanks to everybody in the chat. Because like this has been the latest chat's ever been. I literally have had some laugh out loud moments. If you hear me laughing in the background, it's not because anything everybody else is saying. It's because I'm reading what y'all have been saying in this chat.
I was about to say, Nick, I was like,
that was lit.
Dog? I'm gonna have to mute my button and come fly over to Missouri.
Sorry, bro. Sorry, bro. I mean, the chat was lit, and I mean, I was just laughing. So, thanks to everybody in the chat. It was fun, and you can catch me, Nick Fury. That's my YouTube channel. Same Twitter, and I'm actually getting ready to upload a video right now. I'm publishing it right now. That video is live, so you guys can go ahead and check that out.
Nice.
Let's go ahead and get into the giveaway.
Yeah, what about your giveaway? You still doing that, bro?
Yeah, I'm still doing the Star Wars Battlefront giveaway. A Gleam competition. You can check out the competition. The link is actually in the new video that I just put up. So if you want to enter, go ahead and check it out there. I can't post it in the chat for whatever reason, so you won't be able to see it. But there you go. Let's get into that giveaway. I'm excited for the giveaway.
Let's do it.
Cool.
Do it.
Saltiest Gaming. Obviously, you guys are here, so you know what my YouTube is. Passionate about gaming. Mainly game on Xbox, bringing you Xbox news and opinions and stuff like that. We're gonna be doing some playthroughs and some views on games and whatever. But I want to thank everybody. I can't shout everybody out because there's a lot of people here, but you guys know who you are. I love talking to you guys on social media as well. You can find me there, Saltiest Gaming. The I is a 1. Hit me up on Xbox Live, Saltiest Gaming, one word. So anyway, let's get into it. Let's do the tweet draw. I will post the results online. Screenshot it here.
Boom.
Congratulations, oldie chap. Are you in the chat?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. They are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. You have won a digital code to Cuphead. I hope you enjoyed the game. It is an
Congrats,
awesome game. I probably got more time on there than any of my friends by like a triple because I suck at the game so much.
You do,
and
bro. I stopped playing it because it pissed me off.
I think a lot of people give up on the game because it's so punishing.
It's
but
hard.
truly is a work of art. The music's awesome. It's one of the best games of this generation, in my opinion. It would be my game of the year. So anyway, I'll tweet the results out there and hit me up in my DMs. Not with any nudes or anything, but with your information, I will send you the game code. Yeah, if you send the nudes, that's like a plus, but they're not required. So anyway, that's going to do it for us. Saltiest Gaming Podcast, the Saltiest Podcast. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, stay salty, my friends.
Oh, yeah.